Hi, my name's Chase, and I'm a student at Biola University. Um, this is my first semester here at college. Whoa! It's crazy, right? Um, I've probably done this. I've kind of done this like commentary thing before, but I wanted to do it again because today is what is today? It's like December something. I lost track, but I just had my last final. I'm completely done with homework, completely done with exams. I felt like doing some sort of video because it is actually the most beautiful night on campus tonight. It's like 1:30 right now. I was gonna like shower and everything, but I was like, maybe I can make a video. So this is what I'm doing now. Also, this chair is like freaking wet. Oh my goodness. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. On my first day here, it was, obviously, I had to say goodbye to my parents and my family. And I remember I was going back to my dorm that night after they left, and I was like, oh my goodness, how do I even get to my room? This dorm is a maze. And then I got lost, and I couldn't find my way to my room. And then when it took me like 5-10 minutes, I finally found it. And then I got to the shower, and all the showers were taken, so I had to use this bathtub. I turn on the water, and it's like really, really hot. It's burning, and like steam is coming up. I just remember that I was in that shower feeling so lonely. I might have cried. I might have cried in the shower. I'm not sure. There was a lot of water on my face. I think I cried. Yeah. That was my first experience with loneliness. Definitely not the last. So for the first week, I felt, loneliness. I was like, okay, so maybe I can try to make friends, And this loneliness, like, it did really almost forced me in a way to make friends. So I did this thing where I set out a goal to meet one new person each day. So I would sit with someone random. I'd be like, hey, can I sit here with you? And then, yeah, I just spend the meal getting to know them. There are like 3 or 4 days where I literally spent each meal talking to a new person. And I got to know a lot of people. I'm still friends with some of them today, which is really cool. But yeah, as time went on, I slowly found my friend group, and I slowly started to hang out with them more, and I got less lonely. So I was like, my answers are prayer. God has given me people in my life that I can be with. Yeah, and I don't know, I started to change during that time, like maybe the first month, where I was just so happy. Like, I was smiling basically 24/7. Like, I still do that now. I kind of still do that now, but that was a new thing. So one Friday night, I remember feeling really tired. I was really tired, and I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? So I went to look for my friends, and they were all hanging out in this common room, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll hang out with them. So I brought my guitar, and then I started playing some worship music. But then I started feeling really lonely. Like, all of my friends were doing stuff together, and they're like, oh, scrolling through Instagram or stuff. And I'm just looking at them like, what happened? Why do I feel this way right now? I'm surrounded by my friends, but I feel so lonely. How did this happen? So then I start to play this worship music, and I'm doing like a spontaneous thing where it's the music is almost like a prayer. But the bad thing was that I was doing this as like a show-offy thing. Like, in the back of my head, I kept like waiting for someone to come up to me and ask like, oh, Chase, what are you doing? It was not true worship. And thinking back about it now, I know what I did wrong. And what I did wrong was that I was really prideful. I was only thinking about myself the whole time. And that really opened up my perspective on how I dealt with loneliness. Another night, I'm walking back to my dorm after eating dinner with my friends, and they're doing this thing where they're like, oh, we're girls, let's link arms together and stuff. And I'm like, I was excluded, of course. I remember I was like walking behind them, and then I slowly started to realize, like, I started to feel the loneliness feeling again, and I was like, ooh, not this again. So then I realized, like, I remember what happened last time. I don't want a repeat. So what if I just quietly go back to my room? I just disappeared. I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. So I picked up my guitar, and then I started singing these worship songs, and I kept undoing it. I kept picking another worship song and another worship song, and suddenly I was feeling really good. And I was like, whoa, who knew the answer to loneliness was God? Who would have thought that the answer was God? And yeah, it just seemed so obvious, except I didn't realize until then. So then, that's not where it ends. Another day, I'm on set, I was so tired. So then, we had this dinner break for like 2 or 3 hours. So I was like, okay, I can take this time to hang out with my friends. So, I find them, and they're playing ping pong, and I'm just kind of like watching them. I was literally lying on the ground, that's how tired I was. But yeah, I started to feel the feeling again, and then some of my friends, we walked over to the cafeteria for dinner, and this whole time they're laughing, they're making jokes. They're all girls, by the way. I hang out with too many girls, bro. Cut that out. So we're walking to the cafeteria, and I get the loneliness feeling again, and I remember, like, you know, when I feel like this way, the proper response is not to find help through my friends. I mean, that sounds bad, but like, obviously the answer is God, okay? So let me just put that there. The answer is God. I didn't realize that yet in the moment. I mean, obviously, it's obvious, but I didn't realize it in that moment. I feel this loneliness, so I'm like, okay, I have to do something about it. So I pull one of my friends out, and I tell her, like, hey, I'm actually gonna get a table myself. I want to sit by myself. I need some alone time. And she's like, okay. And she didn't question it, which I really appreciate. So I go over to this table, I put on my AirPods, and then I don't know, I just pressed play, whatever was on. And then I was listening to this band, King's Kaleidoscope, and they have a song called Oxygen, and in that song, Oxygen, there's a lyric that goes, I forgot the joy and suffering. And while I was listening to this band, I was reminded of that lyric, and I was like, sounds a little familiar. Yeah. And I was like, oh wait, I'm in a time of suffering right in this moment. How do I find joy? How do I find joy in this moment? So I start praying, and I probably prayed for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then right after that, I picked up the Bible and I read the first 10 Psalms, and yeah, that felt really good. I finish eating, and I go back to my room. Again, I pick up my guitar, and then I turn off my dorm lights, and I literally just walk around my room playing music, in pitch darkness. When I finally stopped, I felt amazing. It was the most joy that I think I've ever felt in my life. So from that point on, I started praying to God, like, God, please give me times of suffering, which is like a really weird prayer, you know. Please give me times of suffering so that I can emerge out of it trusting you and like feeling joy, because I really don't feel joy until I have to suffer. So that's what I prayed for. A week or two later, I literally just got sick. Like, I had the flu, and I was like, oh my goodness, no, this is actually what I prayed for. Why did God answer my prayers? No. But then, of course, I was so sick that I couldn't do my homework, so instead I spent that time playing worship music. And again, I felt joy. See, I'm still sick. I'm still sick. And now it's kind of like at the present, or I'm still praying that prayer. And it's scary. It's a scary thing to pray about. Because I know that it's going to get answered at some point. I just don't know when. Hope not tomorrow. That would suck. Yeah. Oh no. The moral of the story here is suffering brings joy. Pray for suffering. And when God answers your prayer, you go to Him and no one else. I mean, you could find help from your friends, but at the end of the day, God is the only one that can save you from whatever you're going through. This is something that I had to go through personally and learn and explore myself. This is something that is very personal, and I already said that, but like, yeah, you get what I mean. Also, all of my stuff is about to die. I don't know if I can get into my dorm room in time. So I kind of have to end it here. What is my percentage at? Please tell me I can get in my dorm room.